So Governor Newsom, again, I can't thank you enough. We would not have the Wallace-Annenberg Wildlife Crossing without you. But what did capture your imagination when you learned about this? I mean, most people, when I told them about it, said we were crazy. It never happened.
I think it's because you kind of are crazy. I mean, let's establish
it's a compliment.
No, not like you, but the idea. This was audacious. This made no traditional sense.
Right.
It broke all the rules. It was a scale and scope. It was just the audacity of it. And as a consequence of that, it immediately became obvious that this was going to excite people. This is going to enliven people. Had you gone small and just done a traditional crossing, or as you described, I remember when we first got there, I even asked, well, what about just a simple tunnel? And you're like, oh, no.
No, let me tell you what.
Work. That's why I'm like, wow, okay. Sorry I even brought that up. That was a terrible idea. But that was I think, it. It was the nature of the audacity of the idea.
And one thing, we are doing more. We're putting a living habitat on the top here. And I think that's one thing, again, your leadership, I am so grateful. You really are talking about climate and how biodiversity relates to that.
Yeah.
And this crossing ties into that, but you're doing more, right? I mean, 30 by 30 here?
I think that's what's so extraordinary. I mean, this is going to be a living classroom. I mean, this bridge, how many school kids are talking about what it represents and what they can represent in terms of the larger environmental movement, and talking about the environment not just as an abstract around CO2 that intellectually is hard for people to understand, but as a species, as something tangible, as something that they connected to as a child when they saw a picture of a mountain lion cub. And anyone who sees that as a kid's like, oh, I want one of those, Mom. You got to give me one of those. And all of a sudden now they see their connection to something related to the climate that they otherwise wouldn't necessarily connect with.
So Governor Newsom, you've already put over $100 million for wildlife crossings in the budget, and I know we're going to do more.
Yeah.
I know we share this, we're going to make California the new leader in this. And as you know, I'm leading this new wildlife crossing fund. Wallace-Annenberg's already put up $10 million. So is that your vision too, that this state is going to be wildlife crossing heavy, right? Everywhere you drive.
Well, I mean, therein lies the opportunity. Again, that's how catalytic this project has become. It immediately has inspired all these other projects, and inspired with the legislature's support. Now we're up to $150 million. So we continue that march, that commitment to scale these efforts. And look, it's a big state, so we got a lot of ground to cover, and a lot of consequence if we don't. Meaning, we don't have a lot of time. Starting now, we got to get serious about what's going on in this world. And again, I just really believe this: if California doesn't assert itself, it doesn't lead, then others are going to be slow to do so in our absence. So we have a unique responsibility and obligation of sorts to prove paradigms and to prove concept. Again, taking best practices around the rest of the world, because there are some amazing things happening around the rest of the world, but to really connect a vision as you're trying to do in an entire crossings construct, not just a one-off in Southern California, but throughout the entire state.
It's going to be exciting. And I'm about to do a road trip across the country looking at other crossings, and we're going to spread California's leadership, because you really have, Governor Newsom, set a model for the world. This isn't just, as you said, a bridge. This is a biodiversity climate resiliency project. Yeah. So to replicate that and have the world inspired, thank you.
No, it's exciting. Was it Pericles who said, well, I don't know. What did Pericles say?